Let's code the gaseous token transfer contract. First, I imported an interface called ERC20 permit. This is a standard ERC20 interface with some additional feature. The standard ERC20 do not have a function called permit, but this one does. So I declared it here. Okay, going back to our main contract. So we're gonna write a function called send, function send. This will be external. And we'll figure out what inputs we'll need to pass to execute this function. First, what we need to do is call permit. And later we'll figure out the parameters that we'll need to pass to the function permit. You'll need to call permit so that the sender approves this contract to spend some amount plus fee. Amount will be sent to a receiver and the fee will be sent to whoever executes this function, message.sender. Next, we'll transfer the amount that you see over here to the receiver. And we'll do that by calling transfer from sender to receiver for some amount. And then lastly, we'll transfer over the fee to message.sender. Transfer from sender to message.sender for the amount fee. These are the three functions that we'll need to implement. Let's fill in some inputs that we know that we're going to need to call this function. First, we'll need the address of the token, address token. Next, we'll need the address of the sender and the receiver, address sender, address receiver, the amount to send to the receiver, uint amount, and the amount of fee to send to message.sender. The account that's going to be executing this function, uint fee. And then next, we'll pass in the parameters that we need to pass to the function permit. So let's take a look at the function permit. Here I have a ERC20 permit contract, which I've copied over from Soulmate. And if I scroll up, here's the function permit, and I'll copy the parameters and then paste it here. Okay, so these are the parameters that we need to call the function permit. I'll paste it here. The owner will be the sender, so we're not gonna need this. The spender will be this contract, so we're also not gonna need this input. Value will be amount plus fee, so we won't need this. Deadline, this is the deadline for the last time the signature will be valid, and we will need this, so paste this here. And the signatures for the permit function, BRNS, which we will need. Okay, so these are the parameters that we'll pass to the function send. First, let's call the function permit. So I'll say ERC20 permit at the token dot permit. I'm going to go back to the ERC20 permit function. And then I'll copy the inputs again. And then paste it here. And again, these are the parameters that we'll need to pass to permit. The first address, owner, this will be sender. The spender will be address this. Value, the amount that the sender approves this contract, will be amount plus fee. Deadline will be the deadline passed from the input, and the signature is BRNS. Okay, that completes the function to call permit. By calling this function, the sender approves this contract to spend amount plus fee, amount of the token, and these are the parameters for the signature. The signature is valid until this deadline, and this is the signature. By calling this function, the sender approves this contract to spend this amount without the sender having to call the function approve on the token contract. Okay, let's move on. So we're done with permit. Next, let's call transfer from. So this will be ERC20 permit token dot transfer from sender to receiver for the amount. And then next, we'll transfer the fees. So again, ERC20 permit token dot transfer from sender to message.sender the fees. Okay, this completes the function send for the gasless token transfer. Let's compile this contract. So I'll open my terminal and then I'll type forge build. And a contract compiles. And that completes this video. In the next video, we'll write a test using Foundry to test this gaseous token transfer contract.